Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. That's right, The Steve Kane Show, and we got a lot to cover today on the program and your calls. It is Thursday already, February 6th, and the news cycle is just the busiest news cycle, I think, in the history of American politics. I don't think we've ever had news like this. Now, what was uncovered yesterday by Elon Musk and DOGE, without question, is the largest financial scandal in the history, not just of the United States or U.S. government. Elon Musk has uncovered and exposed the largest financial scandal, quite possibly in the history of the world. He has uncovered the largest and greatest government corruption scandal in this country's history. And I'm going to break through a lot of it, or go through a lot of it. Yesterday, one thing dropped early in the afternoon, and throughout the day, things just kept coming and coming and coming. Now, if you remember, when they first started going after Elon Musk, I told you guys, out of everything Trump's going to do, DOGE and Elon Musk is what has them the most freaked out. And the reason that is because he's exposing their financial corruption in Washington. So he's going after their money. And that's why they've worked so hard to try to divide Trump and Elon. Remember President Musk, Vice President Trump, all that stuff. You know the stories. And now we're finding out things. So I'm going to walk through some of this today. But what Elon Musk and the young team of genius engineers, some of which never even went to college, they've gotten into U.S. aid. We're finding out so much about U.S. aid that it's even shocking me and blowing my mind every time something new drops. And we got a lot we're going to cover on the program today and take your calls, but I'm just going to go right into it and walk you through what happened. So U.S. aid, without question, is a deep state CIA company. It's how all the government kickbacks are made. And that's a reality. And what happened yesterday that was the first domino in a long line of dominoes that fell with U.S. aid was this. The left-wing online news outlet Politico, which is hardcore left-wing, they're on MSNBC, CNN a lot. They have a permanent seat in the White House press briefing room and have for years. They're kind of like, when it comes to the mainstream media, the Politico is kind of like the online equivalent of the New York Times and Washington Post and CNN to them, okay? It's one of the liberal news sources of record, and it is not unusual to watch a White House press briefing and hear a reporter get up and ask the White House press secretary, whoever it is, Karine Abdul-Jabbar, whatever her name was, or Caroline Levitt. It's not unusual for a reporter to get up and ask the White House press person a question that begins like this. Politico is reporting today, and then the question goes into that. Okay? It's been a very powerful and influential media left-wing propaganda tool, Politico. Well, then an email leaked out from an employee at Politico. Politico did not make payroll this week. No one, no matter what their job is, at Politico got paid. And they sent out a memo to their employees that there were some technical issues with the bank, and that's why they didn't make payroll, and they're going to try to fix it. Well, then it came out yesterday early afternoon through DOGE and Elon Musk that U.S. aid has been funding Politico. And it came out in two steps. The first step was they've been giving Politico over $8 million a year. Then later in the day, we find out that other government agencies, I think it was one, the Department of I want to say, was it the EPA or Department of Energy, one of those? But other government agencies have been pouring money into Politico through USAID. And they've actually, Politico has been receiving over $34 million a year through USAID. Over $34 million a year. We found out they've been funding the BBC, USAID. USAID has been giving money to Reuters and other news outlets too. But they have pretty much 100% been funding Politico. Some other things have come out that I'll get to as we go on. But this is how the story began. And over the years, we've all talked so much about the liberal media, the mainstream media. It's called the legacy media, the fake news media. CNN, Politico, New York Times, which also is getting USAID money. I'll talk about that in a bit. Why are all these outlets continuing to put out this left-wing propaganda that no one cares about? Why are they doing this? They don't have viewers. How can they stay in business? And what we're finding out is they're not a business. They're front groups for USAID, which is a CIA deep state company. And left-wing fake news media have been 100% propped up and paid for by USAID. In fact, day before yesterday, USAID had Politico had a big story, about 2,000-word story, saying that Elon Musk was lying about USAID. Another thing they've done, when the laptop story came out during the last election, before this one that was just so victorious, Politico was the first mainstream media outlet to have a story that said the Hunter Biden laptop story is Russian disinformation. 51 intelligence people have signed off saying it was Russian disinformation. It was Politico that first reported that lie. So what we found out is that, and Politico's not alone in this. There's others are coming out, and throughout all the day and evening, a lot of things have come out, and more is going to come out because they're going line by line, DOGE, through the payments out of USAID. So we have a handful that have come out already, but there's going to be more. So the reason that the left-wing media have been, the mainstream media, the reason the mainstream media have never changed up what they're doing is because they don't need viewers or advertisers. In fact, Politico, not only were they getting over $8 million directly from USAID, this other money they were funneling to them through USAID of over $34 million, a lot of it was for subscriptions to their app, the monthly paid subscriptions. So they are not a business. It's a CIA front propaganda tool that's been very effective for them. And I'll tell you, this is an interest. Wait till you hear some of the others I'm going to get into after the first break. This is fascinating because it came up in the White House press briefing yesterday. Brian Glenn, who used to be with Right Side Broadcasting, I forget the name of the outlet. Is he with Real America's Voice now? Who's he with? I forget who Brian Glenn is with now. He's Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend. He was in the White House press briefing room yesterday, looking a little hungover, to tell you the truth, but I like Brian Glenn. He's a good guy. And he asked Carolyn Levitt about this story of USAID funding Politico to over $8 million. And it was one of the first questions in the briefing yesterday. Not one other reporter asked about it or did a follow-up. None of them are interested in this story. And it's getting next to zero coverage, little more than zero, but next to zero coverage in the media today, which indicates to me that a whole bunch of the mainstream media are on the USAID gravy train. But wait till you hear who else is getting money. This is beyond those ridiculous, stupid things the other day. This is hardcore propaganda that they're pushing, USAID, controlling trying to control the narrative and the thoughts of our people in this great country of ours. So we're going to take our first break of this Thursday morning edition of Florida's longest running radio show. Our number is toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465 2631. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. No, it's outrageous. It's freaking outrageous. And of course, they don't want to cover it for obvious reasons. If you're new, make sure that you subscribe. All right? And if you're already subscribed, do me the favor of liking the video, if you don't mind. And your calls are certainly welcome. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free. It's pinned in the live chat, wherever you're watching. Okay, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I'm a little behind on my coffee, so bear with me, guys. Yeah, I know. It's insane to me. It's insane. The things that are coming out, don't get sidetracked on these goofy, stupid things. That'll get resolved. But this media control that USAID has been doing is beyond acceptable. When we come back, I'm going to talk about My Pillow. Of course, we don't have USAID support. So if you want to support this program, great way to do that. Use our promo code Kane at checkout at mypillow.com. I'm going to talk about them when we come out of the commercial break. But with our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, it's free shipping on all orders site-wide. I know it's really disgusting. It was a. I wish Rush Limbaugh were alive to see this exposed, and I'll talk about that too when we get back. We back at a little over a minute. We'll be back on the radio. I know, huge sales going on at mypillow.com and free shipping site-wide. Okay, we'll be back in 1 minute. 1 minute, we'll be back. But some of these other places that have been getting massive money and people to manipulate messaging is shocking, shocking, shocking. 30 seconds. I need my coffee to kick in. If you missed my podcast last night, when I get off the air at 9, go check it out. Great episode. 15 seconds. All right, stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show. If you're on hold, stand by. Now, Politico has USAID completely funding them. But here on the Steve Kane Show, we don't, okay? We have sponsors. We have advertisers. So we have to support our outlet the old-fashioned way in media, right? Sponsorships. And, of course, I'm talking about Mike Lindell right now from My Pillow. There are huge sales site-wide on the towels, the pillows, the sheets, the slippers, the robes, the new Mike Lindell huge sales. And you can use our promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, on all the specials at mypillow.com. And it's also free shipping on all orders, no restrictions, no size or sale amount needed. And what I mean by that is, no matter how small the order is or how large, it is free shipping site-wide with our promo code Kane at checkout. We've been telling you for a while that it was free shipping on orders over $75. Now it's free shipping on all orders, no matter how small. You can buy the smallest item at mypillow.com. It is free shipping site-wide. So this is a time to load up. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, so USAID has been funding to the tune of tens of millions of dollars Politico, left-wing media outlet that has a lot of influence in Washington. I think you all would be surprised at how much influence they had. And this was exposed because they didn't make payroll, and DOGE found it on the payout list. So, I talked about this on my podcast yesterday, and I said, this is going to be one of those things that exposes people, because this is a huge story, that the deep state is funding a mainstream media outlet like Politico. And I said, there's gonna be more when they start going through this, but we're gonna know early on what other media are getting paid based on who covers the story and who does not cover the story. And this came up in the White House press briefing yesterday. This is Caroline Leavitt yesterday.
I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. And I can confirm that the more than $8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening. The DOGE team is working on canceling those payments now. Again, this is a whole of government effort to ensure that we are going line by line when it comes to the federal government's books. And this president and his team are making decisions across the board on, do these receipts serve the interests of the American people? Is this a good use of the American taxpayers' money? If it is not, that funding will no longer be sent abroad, and American taxpayers will see significant savings because of that effort.
Okay, so there she's confirming the subscriptions. So they're not just sending the money that's completely covering it. The monthly subscriptions are being paid for by USAID, she called it. I keep hearing USAID. It's got all kinds of names, but you know what it is. I think maybe it would be easier to just say CIA. Maybe that'd be easier. NSA. This is and this was a big tell, because Brian Glenn asked in the briefing yesterday. Not a single reporter in that briefing did a follow-up about it, which to me tells me they outed themselves, that they're all doing it. It seems to me this is one of the biggest scandals in this country's political history, media history, and financial history. But it's much worse as things come out every 5 seconds about this. It turns out that Chelsea Clinton was paid $84 million from USAID, whatever we're going to call it. Chelsea Clinton, did you hear that? You may have spit your coffee out or fallen out of your chair. Chelsea Clinton, and they've got all the documents. Chelsea Clinton was paid $84 million from USAID. Now, Politico didn't make their payroll because they didn't get that monthly check. Beginning of the month, it didn't come through, that deposit. They have no money to pay their bills. Disney Plus, the streaming app, USAID has been paying for 700,000 subscriptions to Disney Plus. Now, this is an interesting thing. Disney Plus Disney's been putting out all this trans stuff. Now we know why. They don't care about their customers. They don't care about the people because they're getting paid by USAID Disney. So they don't, like, I've been an annual pass holder to Disney World for years. Growing up in Florida, Disney World is part of it. And I didn't renew for the first time. I did not renew my annual pass from Disney for a whole bunch of reasons. A lot of it, their politics and the way they treat their customers, which would be people that go to Disney World or like Star Wars and stuff. Now we know why. Disney is being funded by USAID too. 700,000 monthly subscriptions. They were doing the same thing for the New York Times. They were paying, USAID was paying for subscriptions to the New York Times app. I don't have the number of how many, but it's all coming out. And they're going through it line by line. It was reported yesterday, AOC's current net worth is $30 million. Wow. Did she make that from the tip jar at that bar she said she was bartender at? So this is insane what's going on here. And Rush Limbaugh, I wish that, well, obviously we all wish Rush were alive, but I wish he were alive to see this happen. Because Rush used to talk about the media, and he used to say this about the left-wing media, mainstream media. Rush would say, and he said this for many years, I'm sure you guys had heard him say this. He said, it was in particular about CNN and stuff. He would say, you know, the mainstream liberal media like CNN, they're the only business that thinks they know better than their customer. They don't care what their customer thinks. If the customer doesn't want to watch it, they're still going to do what they want to do because they think they're smarter than the customer. Well, sadly, Rush was wrong, but he had incomplete information. He didn't know about this. The reason that all of these left-wing media outlets promote this left-wing garbage and propaganda is not because they don't need an audience. They're not a business. They're all working for USAID. Deep State is funding all of them. Politico, not only was Politico the first mainstream media outlet to print that false story that the laptop of hunters was Russian disinformation and the 51 intel chiefs signed off on it. If you go back on Politico over the campaign, they were calling the Trump rallies Nazi rallies in this most recent as October. The day before yesterday, they had a huge article about how Elon Musk is lying about USAID. And then the next day, they got exposed that they're taking tens of millions of dollars from USAID. So this is insane what's going on. Now, these Congress people that are in a panic, the panic's going through, I promise you, there's a lot of people in D.C., in New York, in the media, in politics that are in panic mode. There's a story about Chelsea Clinton being paid $84 million from USAID. Nuts. And Politico, not only did they not make their payroll because of this, I imagine they're not going to be able to pay, they may not even be able to pay their fees for their website server or their rent or their electric bill or their phone bills, whatever bills they got. And these people, the money just gets deposited every month, so they don't worry about it. They don't need advertisers. They don't need readers. They don't need visits. And as this gets exposed, I imagine we're going to find that a lot of these politicians and others that release books that nobody reads, that make money, now we know why. How many New York bestsellers are only there because USAID has been buying them? Now, somebody in the chat room said, what are my sources? My sources are the records that DOGE has been posting online. You know, Elon Musk, not only is he running DOGE and exposing this, because he owns X, which is the largest media outlet with the largest reach in the history of media, he's posting everything. So if you follow Elon Musk on X, you get all this in real time. It's shocking, and there's more. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. Like I said, we don't have USAID support. We support this program and this radio station from our advertisers. So we're going to take since I'm quoting Rush, one of those profit-taking breaks. Okay? But this is a massive story. When we get back, I will go to your phone calls at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. We'll be back in 20 seconds, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. All right, stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. Okay, I'm going to go to the phones talking about this USAID scandal with the media, Chelsea Clinton getting $84 million from them, and there's much more going on. Big, huge scandal. And another scandal is an offshoot of it that the media are trying to hide this story, but they can't hide it. You know, if Elon Musk had not bought Twitter and turned it into X, this story would be suppressed on the old Twitter. You know that, right? Okay, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hi. Good morning, Brian. Danielle calling from icy Michigan.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Yeah, this is getting pretty interesting to watch how it's all being exposed and unfolding right before our eyes. I'm quite excited because this is just a little scratch of what they're going to find. And to see all of these people go absolutely ballistic. You know, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, Brian. I'm going to become a bartender because I can't believe how much money AOC is worth and is making.
Yeah, $30 million. That's of course from saving all of her tips. You know, the thing about this story though is this is not a joke. You know, what we're going to end up finding out is that this is going to be official. USAID is a CIA deep state company. I don't think you would. No one disagrees with that, right? You know, and on top of all of that, they're funding probably almost all of the left-wing voices in this country. You know, Brian Stelter was on CNN in a panic about it yesterday, and on X. Yeah, they're scared, they're terrified because it's all being exposed, and I wonder how many of these politicians are not going to be able to pay their bills this month and their families because the USAID money's not coming. Like with Politico. Politico's the first outlet or entity that we know of that's about to fold because they didn't get the money. But these Congress people and their families and other organizations that are getting the kickbacks from it, how are they going to pay their mortgage, their rent, their car payments this month, their credit cards? Believe me, these people are in complete panic. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, you're right. You're right with these. You're talking about the USAID thing, and that's what you should call it because USA makes it sound like we're trying to aid people, help people out.
Well, we are. We're trying to help. We're helping corrupt crooks.
That's right. And think about this. Hillary Clinton's book, It Takes a Village, right? They claimed it sold millions of copies, didn't they, at the time? Mm-hmm. And I really don't think it did. I think it sold maybe 100,000 copies.
We don't know. I don't know about Hillary because when she wrote that, I think was she in the Senate or First Lady? Then maybe. But a lot of these other people, you find that all of a sudden, a lot of these politicians, they'll become a millionaire because of a book. Right? And what we're going to find is USAID's probably been buying the books. Like they've been doing the 700... Think about it. 700,000 monthly subscriptions to Disney Plus USAID's been paying for.
Well,
New York Times and Politico, subscriptions to them too.
If I'm not mistaken, Brian, her advance for her book, Hillary Clinton's, was like $5 million to $10 million for an advance.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Mike, I appreciate it. Yeah, we never know. We never know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, IB. Hey, Brian.
Hey, IB.
When I said, like, America's going to hit the roof and get livid. My mouth dropped last night, and I couldn't keep track with all the NGOs. And the American people have to understand something. We are that bank. So I don't like to use the word American aid because it almost sounds like we're holding back from helping people that really need to be helped. So I like to just say, hey, our money. It's our
Well,
money.
we got to say what the organization is. But IB, this is another thing. This Invasion USA that's been going on the last 4 years, right, that Trump stopped. And we've talked so much, I talked a lot, that there's big, who's paying for this? And the boogeyman has always been George Soros. But come to find out, George Soros really isn't the big boogeyman. It's USAID. And USAID, we're finding out, has been funding this entire border invasion.
Exactly. Hey, you beat me to the punch. Chelsea Clinton getting that 83. $84 million
Chelsea got.
Yeah, you remember that. Right. And Clinton, Bill and Hillary's names actually was attached to that, but they just making it seem like it's going to her. Get this. This is the one. I mean, NGOs go from 10 million to up to 600, 700 million. 400 million went to a company called Anova. It's in South Africa, and there is no working internet there. 400 million without an internet, and some of these places are not even, they don't even have a building structure, so there's nothing there. This money was appropriated to go to.
This is what we're finding out. Okay, I want to try to focus in a little bit because there's so much scandal. I want to focus in on these kickbacks and stuff. Right now, because we know it is a fact that Politico took that money, $34 million a year, right? The subscriptions, the 700,000 monthly subscriptions that Disney Plus was getting, the New York Times subscriptions. How much of the mainstream legacy media is only in operation because of the USAID money?
Right. Get this. Angelina Jolie got 20 million. The guy Epstein, who killed himself supposedly in jail, got almost 300,000. And get this, Lindsey Graham got $130 million for what? No wonder why he switched.
And this is the thing. Angelina Jolie and who's the actor that plays Zoolander?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I can't think of his name right now. I'm behind on my coffee this morning, guys. Bear with me.
Yeah, I
know. He went Angelina. What's been reported? Angelina Jolie and Zoolander, Ben Stiller. Okay, is his name. What's being reported is Angelina Jolie and Ben Stiller, who traveled to Ukraine to meet Zelensky, it was very high profile, were paid millions of dollars to do it by USAID.
I didn't know she went over there. Wow.
Yeah, USAID.
You know what? You mentioned it, but the way I saw it, I had to write it down last night. I see this is the biggest bank robbery on steroids. This is the biggest financial, political, and media scandal in the history of the human race. When you said, Brian, that all we are is something to excrete money from, you say that now and again. Boy, oh boy, are we being excreted.
Well, let me tell you, Pam Bondi, our Attorney General, Pam Bondi, who's already investigating Bragg and all these lawfare people, this USAID scandal, there will be people that are high profile that will go to jail. This Trump cabinet, they don't play around. Pam Bondi's, there's going to be someone, a congressperson. There are going to be somebody who's a household name is going to go to jail over this. There's going to be some high. This story's growing every day. It's like a bonfire. It's getting bigger and bigger all the time with every story.
Hey guys, check this out. Since Brian brought up Politico, I remember when I used to listen to them back in the 90s, and I always knew they were left-leaning, and Cepolo used to have them on all the time, and I always used to wonder why did Cepolo always have Politico on. Remember Seth Israel and Wasserman Schultz, and I wasn't I wasn't heavy into politics back then, but to know that they've been around since the 90s getting money from us, it's just unreal.
Yeah, and we're finding out the head of USAID is that Stephanie Powers lady that was Obama's UN ambassador, and she's a complete radical Marxist, if you remember.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but this let me tell you, a good way to tell what media outlets are taking the money and, well, no one's taking it now. They've all been cut off. But which ones were taking money and not are based on the ones who report it and don't report. Hey, IB, good call. I appreciate it. Our number is 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What media outlets are taking the money?
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, once, twice. All right, you put the phone down. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Buzz from...
Buzz, turn the volume down of whatever device you're listening to me on in the background, please.
Oh, sorry, I was just doing... I didn't
That's
expect
better.
to get up too fast.
That's okay. What's up, Buzz?
Yeah, with the congressmen and senators or whoever's taking all this money, now that we found that Lindsey Graham get, $130 million, that he's into the, in that pot. And for how the questioning was going through Trump's picks for the last couple of weeks, how he was undecided, flip-flopping back and forth. And all of a sudden now, I'm just wondering, did you notice if there was a shift or how the shift went from, accepting...
Well, I don't know. Lindsey Graham's got an organization that gets money. I know that. I don't know if he personally got it. I think if he personally got it, we would know about that. But they by the way, thanks for the call. We're coming up on a break. If you're on hold, do me the favor of hanging in there. We're going to go to the calls after the break. But instead, and now this is just me, instead of these wackadoodle stupid programs we keep hearing about, I'd like to focus in the discussion on the media and the politicians that are getting the USAID money. Our number is 888-465-2631, and there's a lot more to cover. I've just started on this. 1-888-465-2631. I want to talk about Friendly Tire in Margate. I've been a customer there, I don't know, maybe 20 years now. I've been a customer at Friendly Tire long before we were talking about them on the program. They have just the best deals on new and used tires you'll find anywhere. All the tires in my family's vehicles are on the road on tires from Friendly Tire, including my daughter's car in California. I got her tires before I shipped the car out to her. And I was telling you guys, I went out to California. She's been out there over 2 years, driving everywhere because she's new to Southern California, driving all over the deserts, Pacific Coast Highway, all through LA. And I was out there, it's been over 2 years now, and I was out there planning on buying her 4 new tires. I figured with all the driving she would need them, and oh boy, I wasn't looking forward to it because, well, Friendly Tires in Margate, not LA, and her tires look like new. I couldn't believe what great condition they were in. They're Firestone tires that I got at Friendly Tire in Margate. Friendly Tire in Margate, they have new tires as low as $70 a tire, out the door and on the road. And by out the door and on the road, what I mean by that is when you call Friendly Tire, I'm going to give you the number in a moment, Friendly Mike will give you a quote over the phone. That's out the door and on the road, meaning he doesn't charge you to balance the tire, mount the tire, or even dispose of your old tire. And you can get new tires as low as $70 a tire. Give him a call, and Friendly Mike will give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's 954-977-9445. Make sure you tell him I sent you. He'll take extra good care of you. Friendly Tire in Margate. We'll be right back. We'll be back shortly, guys. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'm just reading a couple of things here that I'm going to talk about when we get back. Okay. I mean, look at this. This is the chart, and Elon Musk posted this. It's very detailed. Chelsea Clinton casually taking home $84 million. Here's another one. USAID gave over $68 million to the World Economic Forum. It's crazy. And here's a whole list of NGOs. And some of them are Republican establishment NGOs. And these are the payments. The National Democratic Institute for Internal Affairs. Here's the International Republican Institute. The International Foundation for Electrical Systems. I mean, it's just endless. It's just, this is how they do everything. Here's another one. Someone paid $153 million. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. If you're on hold, stand by. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. The biggest financial scandal in America's history just broke yesterday, and the media won't cover it because they're part of the scandal. All right, let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. If you're on hold, stand by.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Trisha, and I'm calling from Minneapolis.
All right. Minneapolis, what's on your mind?
I'm freaking furious.
Yeah, wow.
This is absolutely freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I have to say this. My whole family is TDS, okay? My mom's 81. I watch her sit there and watch 11, 4, all these stations. The only one, she watches all the mainstream media. And I keep asking myself, who is paying these people? Because they totally lie, totally omit shit. Totally...
Whoa. Watch your mouth. Grab that dump button, Mike. First time today, I have to wait for the delay to re-engage. Listen, watch your language. Can't use those words on the radio. Yeah, it is. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to wait for the delay to re-engage. But, you know, people are angry about this. But here's the scary thing about it. The media are not reporting this. Chelsea Clinton receiving $84 million from USAID. You know what I wonder? Did USAID pay for the Hunter Biden artwork? Would you be surprised? And the story about Politico, we know other media outlets are getting money too. Reuters, BBC, how many in this country? My guess is, look at who reports it, look who doesn't report it. That's the tell. Now, and the arrogance of these people in Washington that are camped out in front of the USAID offices, griping about their money, pretending as if it's some charitable thing. This is a level of swamp draining that none of us envisioned, because who knew about this? Now, I had heard of USAID in the past. I've seen their logo on some things from time to time, but who would have dreamed that this was in existence? And this is how they do everything. The kickbacks, everything. It's all done through USAID. Okay, the delay is re-engaged. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Joanne. I'm calling from Tamarack, Florida.
All right, Joanne and Tamarack. What's on your mind?
I think that DOGE should start looking at the IRS.
That they are. That's next on their list.
Well, I mean, do they have 80,000 new agents? Do they ever audit AOC? Where did she get $30 million? Did she write books? I don't know.
Well, my guess is that there's a couple of things that people do that are in politics where they claim to make their money. Books and speaking engagements. And my based on what we're learning, my guess is that USAID buys the books. And what we're finding is they're supporting a lot of these left-wing organizations by the month. I'm going to let you go because we got some bad noise on your phone there, but thanks for the call. They're doing the monthly subscriptions. As I said, USAID had 700 monthly subscriptions to the Disney Plus app. They were doing monthly subscriptions to Politico, the New York Times. So I'm guessing the book sales, they probably now do it with the Kindle downloads. And I don't know what kind of operation they have in place where they can have these subscription things set up. Do they have subscription farms like they used to have those tweet farms? I don't know. But we're going to find out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jeff from Maine, Brian.
Hey, Jeff.
Listen, the corruption that's being unfolded in our government in just 2 weeks, can you imagine 2 months, 6 months, a year? What's going to happen when America is woken up to the corruption of the Democrat Party and how it is worldwide through so many government agencies?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, this is a whole new level.
Yep. And I think what I want to see, and I believe a lot of people in the chat want to see, is the arrest of the traitors in our government.
Well, a lot of people always want everybody on trial for treason, But what's going to happen here is people are going to, there will be people, because of Pam Bondi, she's already going after Bragg and the lawfare people. She's already doing it. This USAID, there are going to be high-profile people who get arrested for financial crimes. It's going to happen. I'm telling you, this is too big and it's too widespread.
And the Clintons are so tied into Soros.
I'm going to tell you something here. And I'm not defending Soros, but I think it's really USAID. He's a boogeyman. I'm not saying he doesn't help liberal causes. No, he's the villain. It's like a magician. Magicians, they have the beautiful assistant that's hardly wearing any clothes. Right? Yeah. You know why they do that?
To distract you.
So you're looking at her, not him, when he's doing the stuff. George Soros is that. Look at him while USAID's really doing all of it. That's what's going on here. And I
just believe that this goes back with the first Bush, the second Bush, the Clintons, Obama, Biden, and the top Democrats in our government and rhinos that have all been in profiting. And like you said, it's all about the money. And when you follow the money, you're going to find out a lot of people are going to be prosecuted under that.
I'm telling you, there is never been a scandal even close to this in this country, financially, politically, or media-wise. Never.
Remember, we always used to say, follow the money, because the love of money is the root of all evil. And when you get so much money, you can never get enough. And I'm glad I was never rich, because I'm sorry, the things that open up when you have a lot of money. Do you agree with me? I want to be comfortable.
No, I know. I'd like to be rich. Yeah, sure. So maybe I could sleep in. You think I like getting up at 1:30 in the morning every day of the week and work until it's dark at night? No, I like to be rich, so I'd still work, but not as much, Jeff. No, I'm gonna have to part ways. I know I'm gonna have to part ways with you on that one. No, I want to be rich.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
It could be worse. You could be in Maine and it's 9 below zero this morning.
That's true. That's true. All right, Jeff. Take care. Yeah, Jeff's a good call, but no. I'll take. I like to be rich. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Barbara in Baltimore.
Hey, Barbara.
I tell you, it couldn't get any better. It can't get any better. My brother called me from Georgia yesterday. They heard this about. They can't believe it. These are new Trump voters, Democrats.
When he called you, when he called you, what specifically did he tell you about?
He said, "Why they." About the money that they're spending.
Politico?
He could not believe it.
Yeah.
The money that's being spent on other things, other people, and because he, works. People who work are feeling this.
Yeah.
That's our money. That's our money they're using. But this is beautiful. And the more they scream, I looked at that fool Al Green yesterday. He's going to impeach. Who cares? They can do whatever they want. And what I think, and I'm sure, Caroline, speaking of Caroline, oh my goodness. Now, I've been watching Republicans that had people doing this, press secretaries. She's the best of all I've seen.
Oh, yeah,
and
she
Sarah
is.
Sarah Huckabee had it.
She's better than
really
I got to
good.
tell you.
love what
Caroline
I've
Levitt
never
is
seen
what?
anything like
She's
that.
like 27. She is so smart beyond her years.
She's a genius.
I was worried because she's so young. She's so good.
She's young, but she's a genius.
Yeah, she is.
She can absorb things very quickly, and you can tell it because she speaks right off the cuff. It's not like she's got to rehearse it. She absorbs, and boy, does she project well.
Well, let me tell you though, this story about Politico has opened up that the entire mainstream media, they don't care that you don't watch them. Because they got that USAID money. It's not about, they're not a business.
Right.
They're propaganda arms.
They couldn't make payroll, Brian. They couldn't make
well,
payroll.
they're going to find out they're not the only ones. There's going to be a lot of other people that can't too.
That list should be on, I don't know, not even C-SPAN. I don't know where I want to see that thing on, just on a rolling list, like a loop. Going through over and over. And I'm telling you one other thing, and then I'm gone. All of these conservative outlets, all of them, and I watch more than I listen because you can't stand hearing them talk about showing us what CNN said, what MSNBC said. That's not serving a purpose to me. I don't want to hear them over and over and over. What they should do is run that list. Talk about that list.
But they're probably the reason they're not is because they're probably getting the same money from USAID too, so they're not talking about it.
Newsmax is doing a good job with.
Well, that means they're not that whoever reports it, they're not getting the money.
Yes, AON, and
OAN.
As far as on a consistent basis, AON and Newsmax are very consistent.
All right, listen, I got to run, Barbara, but I got to run. Thanks for the call. Whatever news outlets don't report it probably are getting the USAID money. That's it. I mean, that's it. Now, as I say, we don't have USAID supporting this program, so keep supporting our sponsors, guys. And don't forget Super Bowl, the big game. I'm supposed to say the big game. Make sure you get your big game food from Wings Plus, Sample Road in Coral Springs. We were there on Inauguration Day. Great wings to serve for the big game. It's the Steve Kane Show. 1 hour down, 2 to go. We'll be back with your calls after our top of the hour break. We'll be back in less than a minute, guys. Less than a minute. If you're on hold, hang in there. Okay. 30 seconds. Yeah, I mean, this is just a huge scandal. Just a huge scandal. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Chelsea Clinton, $84 million. All right, 15 seconds. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. If you're on hold, stand by. I got to recap what we're talking about, because this is the biggest financial scandal in world history, the biggest political scandal in American history, and the biggest scandal involving the media in history ever. And what Elon Musk, now we know why they hate him so much. It's because of what he's exposing. Elon Musk at DOGE has been uncovering all kinds of things and where the money's been going. And what happened this week is they shut down the payments out of USAID, right? Left-wing Politico was unable to make payroll. And it came out yesterday that liberal Politico, which is one of the most prominent left-wing media outlets out there. It's up there with the New York Times. I know you're laughing, New York Times. I'm talking about from the liberal perspective. It's one of the Washington's media sources of record, liberal Politico, okay? And I use this example many times. I've watched White House press briefings or presidents, multiple presidents ask questions from the press, and it begins with this. Politico was reporting today, and then the question comes in. It's like it gives things credibility. Politico was the first mainstream media outlet to put out that fake story that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation and was signed off by those 51 intelligence heads, okay? Turns out Politico was getting paid $34 million a year by USAID. They've also been subscribing to their service. Since then, we're finding out that a lot of other media outlets are getting money from USAID, and a lot of it involves subscriptions. New York Times, USAID was subscribing to the New York Times. I don't have the number on that one. If there's an update on that, let me know. Call and let me know. Disney Plus, USAID has been subscribing to 700,000 monthly memberships to Disney Plus, and that's not cheap. And let me see what a Disney Plus subscription is. Let's see here. Let me look it up. Disney Plus subscription price. Let me just Google this real quick. It's $26.99 a month. I'm sure that's the most expensive one. I'm sure that's the one they were subscribing to because they didn't have to worry about budgeting since it's the government's money. So 700,000 monthly subscriptions to Disney Plus at the $27 a month. And I don't know how long that's been going on. We don't have a time on that yet. But now we know why Disney has been ignoring their customers, the people that like their films or their theme parks, and putting out all this trans stuff because they don't care. They don't need regular people. They're getting paid by the government. This is a huge scandal. And USAID, of course, is a CIA deep state front company that's been pushing all of these radical anti-Trump agendas. There's also another major story that I haven't even gotten to yet involving the president. But let's go back to the calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Montana Mark.
Hey, Mark.
You know, the more news coming out with the USAID, it's getting juicier and it gives me goosebumps. But, you know, one thing I've been thinking about, has Antifa or Black Lives Matter got money.
Maybe. I mean, I think it's better to talk about what we know instead of because what's happening is Elon Musk is in charge of DOGE. He has his team of young geniuses going line by line through everything. And since Elon Musk owns the #1 news outlet on the planet, X, he immediately posted to X. Yesterday, they found that Chelsea Clinton has been paid $84 million. $84 million Chelsea Clinton was paid by USAID. And he puts it right. He finds out. He puts it right out there on X. So I think it's more productive to talk about what has been put out there as opposed to saying, well, is this person or that person gotten it? You understand what I mean?
Well, the one thing that I noticed, you look at Chuck Schumer, Maxwell, and Al Green. And they're just so angry, but that just shows that's the money that they're not going to get.
People freak out when their money gets cut off. And Politico not making payroll because the money didn't get deposited in their account this month tells me that that they do their deposits at the beginning of the month and a lot of people didn't get paid. Okay? And these are big, powerful, famous people we're finding out. So something is going on. Someone just told me the New York Times received close to $3 million. I think that in the form of subscriptions. I'm very curious how they're doing these monthly subscriptions. How do they sign up for 700,000 Disney Plus subscriptions? How are they doing that?
With the CIA, deep state and stuff, it's going to be really revealing to see down the road what's happening.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. So,
I don't. It's exciting, but it's also it's angering. I mean, now this is how they do it. This is how the politicians and their families are all paid, and this is how they get the agenda out. I mean, MSNBC, nobody watches that. Low ratings. Now we know how they're in business. Probably this, just like Politico. We're going to find out.
Well, people are going to start noticing what's going on.
That's right. Hey, Mark, I appreciate the call. All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Man, I'm telling you, it's so hard to believe. But of all the things that President Trump has ever done and will do, this may be the greatest thing exposing this theft of the Treasury that any president has ever done. These people that are doing this think that they're so smart, everybody else is so stupid, they can get away with it forever, and now they're all getting caught. And man, oh man, I don't think it's going to be too easy to prosecute anybody because everybody has got their hand.
Well, Pam Bondi doesn't have her hand in it. We need some high-profile arrest here.
That would be nice, but that's going to be tough.
No, it's not. It's not because they never thought they would get caught. So there's records of it. They have the accounting books. That's how they found out about Chelsea Clinton getting $84 million. Chelsea Clinton's going to have to explain what she received that $84 million for. What did she do in exchange for that?
Yeah, I know. But they'll come up with some dumb story. Oh, well, we thought it was right.
It's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No. This is a new Washington. That's not going to fly.
Man, I hope you're right. That will be...
As an example, like day before yesterday, we found out that USAID was paying for the lawyers that were suing Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, this is all illegal.
It's all totally illegal, totally ridiculous, and how they've been getting away with it for so long.
Because they've had Washington insiders running everything.
Exactly.
Trump is the first outsider president ever, and he's brought in this team of disruptors that are outsiders as well, like Pam Bondi.
Pam Bondi's going to try, but man, I'm telling you, all the judges have probably got their hand in there as well, man. I'm telling you, it's not going to be too easy.
Well, Doug, I mean, you didn't think Trump was going to win, so, what do you know? All right, appreciate the call, Doug. Doug's always doom and gloom. He's like Richie. No, Pam Bondi's already going after Bragg and the lawfare people. Believe me. There's going to be high-profile arrests connected to this. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian.
Hey, Richie.
the average guy in the country, the average woman or man, okay, like a guy like you brought this up many times. April 15th is a disaster day for you, my friend. It's a disaster day for everybody in the United States because guess what, folks? That's the day we have to pay the IRS a blank check out of our labor or whatever, our investments, a blank check to this corrupt government that has been lying to us for the last 50 years at least. And now we sit back and we say, well, look at all the corruption. They're going to get a lot.
Well, let me tell you, I remember we're going to find that there were some Republican establishment people that are getting the money, or outlets, like media outlets like Politico. And I'm going to remind you guys of something. When Trump was running the first time and the primaries were going on, there were a lot of prominent Republicans that are well known. I don't know names. I don't want to be accusatory, but there was a story in the New York Post. Some of the big Republican never Trumpers, they just happen to be selling a lot of books. A lot of books. And I bet you USAID. I'll tell you, you know what I would look at? Who was that woman that told those lies about Kavanaugh at those hearings, accusing him of all those things?
Yeah, she probably got money too.
Well,
she probably got money too.
If you remember, she had a crowdfunding thing that raised millions of dollars. I'd like to know where that money came from. You know, there's 700,000 monthly subscriptions to Disney Plus.
Yeah, well, but the problem is this, okay? This is exposed that our government, the one that George Washington started, is totally corrupted from within. And we're the guys that are paying the freight. We're paid for the illegals coming in. We've done everything. This is all, and we haven't even known. That's what happened. They blamed Bernie Madoff for ripping off some of these rich people because he took their investments. How about us poor people that have had to pay?
Yeah.
And look what they've done to us. I mean, enough is enough. Not only am I angry, I'm livid about this. I don't know what are we going to do about all these politicians that are in front calling for a war in the street?
Listen, Politico didn't make payroll. They probably didn't pay any of their other bills either. That means a lot of people didn't get paid. And because they've got that money coming in every month from USAID, they don't have cash reserves because that money is just expected to be there all the time. So they are. There's a lot of people that are not going to be able to make payroll or pay their mortgage or their car. There's going to be
I don't care.
No, but what I mean is we're going to find out about it because there's.
Yeah, but what are we going to do about it?
Pam Bondi. Oh my goodness, you and Doug. Why don't I give you guys each other's phone numbers so you can sit around and whine? Pam Bondi is already going after the lawfare people. She's looking in the brag right now.
I know that.
Okay, Pam Bondi is going to be all over this.
But what are we going to lock up half the government?
There's going to be somebody. I would expect a House member or a senator at least to go to prison over this.
But there's more than one.
So what?
There's 50. Our government has got to be changed in front before your face.
They're going to. Yes.
They all have to be held.
They're going to arrest because if they don't arrest people and put them in prison for these crimes, as soon as the Democrats are back in power, or like a DeSantis or Nikki Haley establishment Republican are in power, all of a sudden they'll reopen the business. No, there will be high-profile household names who go to prison for this. Richie, I'm late for the break. I got to run, but thanks for the call. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. We'll be back in 90 seconds. This is what I'm going to mention when we get back. Look at this. This is from Elon. USAID was paying 6,200 journalists, 707 news outlets, and 279 media sector civil society organizations in 30 countries. And this is one of them. Ours probably get more than anyone. It's crazy. We'll be back in just over 1 minute. I know. It's infuriating. It really is. But we're in power now, and we have new people in charge of everything, and they'll take care of it. There will be people who go to prison over this. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. Callers on hold, stand by. I want to talk about Slomin's. Oh, man. Have you taken advantage of this free doorbell camera offer with the installation of your Slomin chip? You got to do it. The doorbell camera I love it. I love it. Yesterday, my wife and I, we were on our back porch. We're, in a nice little hanging out, having a good time. And there was a knock at the door. We could just look and see who's there. Right? It's a great thing to have. Slomin's is going to give you a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your smartphone, too, with the installation of your Slomin Shield. Slomin's is also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. Slomin's is going to give you an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts, lifetime warranty, and a backup battery, plus you'll get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Slomin Shield. Here's the number. No matter where you're located, give them a call. This is a very easy number to remember. 1-800-ALARM-ME. 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 All right? Get your doorbell camera. Okay. So now we're finding some more updates. USAID has been paying 6,200 journalists, 707 news outlets, and 279 media sector civil society organizations in 30 different countries, of which I'm sure our country is the largest recipient. All the news is fake news, pretty much. And this is just the beginning. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's go back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Jay from Jersey.
Oh, hey, Jay.
Turn you down in the background.
Oh, yes.
Wow, it's so weird how Richie is so outraged. Oh, I'm so upset. I'm upset. Oh, y'all upset about this, right? But you ain't upset about this. They stopped money for schooling and they're fiddling with people with Richie's Social Security.
Wait a minute. Who didn't get their Social Security payment? I missed that.
I didn't say that he didn't get
it. Okay, who did? What school didn't get money? What school didn't get money?
None of the money went out. You didn't know that?
USAID doesn't pay for schools. They don't pay for. They're not supposed to be paying for schools.
You think that it was okay for a man who does not work for the government, who
he
is
does.
A billionaire?
He works for the
wait a minute.
He works for the president of the United States.
No, he does not work for the president.
Elon Musk works for the president of the United States.
He can't work for him because he has government contracts. So that's why he did not hire him.
Oh.
He gave him this stupid thing that he made up. He does not work. He does not get a paycheck.
This came up.
No,
Yeah,
he does not.
this came up. He doesn't need a paycheck. He's the richest man who's ever
right.
lived.
Listen, he does not work for the government because he has a government contract.
Caroline Levitt and the president responded. They said if DOGE comes up against a payment that is with a person or company that's in conflict with one of his, he'll remove himself from having anything to do with that.
But he didn't.
But it hasn't happened yet.
So listen, wait a minute.
It hasn't happened yet.
Why aren't you outraged that a person who does not have a job with the government can shut down a government building?
That's the kind of Elon Musk did not. Excuse me. Elon Musk did not shut down a government building. The president of the president of the United States did.
No.
Yes.
Elon Musk is the president of the United States.
No, Donald Trump is the president. Donald Trump is the president.
He tells Trump what to do. He went to the building first. Then he called Trump and told Trump what to do. And then
this is so bizarre. So this is what you Jay, this is what you want us to expect. Hold on a second. You understand we found out about a bank robbery and you're mad at the guys that caught the bank robbers, not the bank robbers? I don't get it.
Because there's so many more things going down. Do you see how people are protesting all around the whole country? It must be because something else is going on besides that.
No one's protesting around the country. A bunch of Washington insider Congress people are griping in front of the building, but there aren't nationwide protests over this.
The news. They went to every capital all around the whole state yesterday.
Yeah.
You didn't see that, I
Yeah.
guess.
Those are the people that are getting their money cut off and are in a panic.
Well, Richie better be careful because they're trying to cut off his money.
What is his money?
His old Social Security and probably his food stamps.
No one's cutting off food stamps or Social Security, and food stamps are done at the state level anyway. No one's cutting off Social Security. That's not USAID.
That's weird. That's weird that you don't know that he's trying to do that.
No, he's not going to cut off Social Security.
You can ignore. You worrying about those payments to radio stations or whatever, but you don't realize that he's cutting off funding for people who get Meals on Wheels and all kinds.
No, they're not. They're not cutting off Meals on Wheels.
And cut off farmers. See, there you go.
Let me ask you. What is your opinion of the fact that USAID has been paying for 700,000 monthly subscriptions to Disney Plus that cost $27 a month?
You know what? May not be something that may not be, but you know what's more important? But to me, something that's more important is senior citizens who's getting Meals on Wheels.
Meals on Wheels is not being cut.
Yes, they are being cut.
No, they're not being cut.
They had to put a freeze on the cut that he put
No,
on it.
I haven't.
You know that.
If there were senior citizens, excuse me, if there were senior citizens going without meals, believe me, CNN would have them on TV.
A judge had to go in and stop it from his cut. He cut it, and the judge had to stop him. You know that.
So why, if there are seniors that are going hungry because of Elon Musk, why is
they were going hungry?
Well,
I said
Meals on
stop the money.
No, he didn't. All right, Jay, I got to run
Yes,
for our
he
bottom of
did.
the hour break, but oh man.
Yes, he did.
I can't believe you're not
You're
upset
lying.
at these bank robbers. You
You're
know what this tells
lying.
me?
Well, why
You don't
are
pay
you
taxes.
lying?
You don't pay any taxes,
Why
so
are
you
you
don't
lying?
care. I'm
Who
not
don't pay any
lying.
taxes?
Of course you're
Who
not
don't pay
paying.
any taxes?
If you pay taxes, you'd be ticked off at this.
I'm ticked off at a lot of other things that's going on more than that stupid stuff. He had no business going.
They gave $34 million to Politico.
He had no right to even go in there and get that information.
Yes, he
And that was
did.
illegal
He
seizure.
works for the
Illegal
president.
seizure.
He works for the president of the
Illegal
United
seizure.
States.
Illegal seizure.
All right, Jay,
He
take
doesn't
care.
work
All
for
right.
the
Oh my goodness. Why is he so hysterical? Is he going through menopause, Jay from Jersey? They catch bank robbers, and he's upset at the guy that caught the bank robbers. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back. you're on hold, hang in there. We will be back shortly. If you're new, subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, do me the favor of liking the video. And of course, if you're in the state of Florida and you need roof replacement or repair, Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing's the guy. He can handle the job of any size, single-family home, municipal, commercial work. If you have a condo or an HOA with 300 buildings, he can handle the job that size, or just a small single-family home. Let me give you his number. This is his cell phone. It's 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. You can call or text Tom Laporta or go to his website, laportaroofing.com. Now, the number on the website isn't his cell phone, so write down the cell phone so you can get Tom Laporta directly. 954-604-4602. He'll never sell you a roof you do not need. He'll take very good care of you. Give him a call. All right. 30 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Holy smokes, if you've just tuned in, you've missed a lot. I want to go to the calls, and I'll recap everything in a few minutes. There's the biggest political, media, and financial scandal in American history uncovered by DOGE and Elon Musk. That's what we're talking about. Huge story. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Mel from Boca.
Hey, Mel. You're on the air.
What a morning.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. Oh, boy. Just so many thoughts about this. I'm just going to rattle off the top of my head here because I'm dizzy. $84 million to Chelsea.
USA. Let me tell people, Elon Musk discovered yesterday that Chelsea Clinton was paid $84 million from USAID. Yes.
The Institute for AID, American Institute for International Development, or whatever it's called. Sounds like a CIA thing.
It is anyway, CIA. It is. It is.
Yeah. It's what did Hillary? I'm sorry.
Chelsea.
Chelsea do with that money? Did that fund Hillary's investigations?
No, that's their money. No. They didn't spend that money on things like that. That's their money. She's got a $10 million apartment in New York. That's where some of it went.
Yeah. I have another point to make. I don't know where to begin here. President Trump's 2 assassination attempts. We don't know anything about them, really. They're like mysteries. Nobody's telling us anything. And I'm having a nervous feeling that's all tied in to what Musk is uncovering. And now I'm worried about his safety.
Well, if you go, believe me,
amounts of money
Elon Musk.
I'm sorry to bring up such a.
Well, I don't want to go too deep into that. I don't want to go too deep into that, Mel. But Elon Musk has been living at the White House, staying in the Lincoln bedroom.
Well, thank God for that.
But but here's this story about Politico receiving $34 million. What's 700,000 times $27 every month? They've been
millions.
It's every month. So Disney has been, what I'm referencing for those that just tuned in, this is all stuff Elon's uncovered. USAID was paying for 700,000 monthly memberships to Disney Plus.
Oh God, I don't know what to say. It just gives me the chills.
Well, you know what it is.
Thank God for Trump. Thank God he's going to straighten this out.
That's been the secret government, the deep state with USAID.
Yep. I want to listen to the rest of your show.
Oh, I do too. I want to hear what I'm going to say too. All right, appreciate the call. I want to listen to the rest too. This is really frightening. And what we're finding is that they're doing a lot of these monthly subscriptions to these outlets. They were doing New York Times, Politico, and I'm curious how they do it. Do they farm it out to China to do that? Because they have those bot farms in China that they use to hit Twitter with. Remember that back in the day? I don't know how they're doing it, but they're doing it, and Elon Musk caught them. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Lisa from Boca.
Hey, Lisa.
Good morning. I wanted to comment on the Clintons. Chelsea with her money now, can't it go to Mershann's daughter? Can't it go to Letitia?
Yes.
Bonnie Willis?
Absolutely.
And all the rest of it.
Yes.
I think it is such sabotage, and I think it's whatever we're doing, it's almost like soy and green. We're almost eating our own with a fantasy. I just am I did put my coffee down, and I was thinking how Comey's book gets sold and how that money is, and how Harvard professors or whatever professors, and it trickles down. You don't know if it's the people who went against Carrie Lake. I'm not into conspiracy.
No. This is not conspiracy. The stuff I'm talking about today is fact.
It is, and I think Hillary has had it out in so many ways that her little pit bull of Chelsea's big amount of money is now another formidable way of her, almost her fentanyl, her way of getting into the ether of,
Well, Chelsea's going to have some, let me tell you, Chelsea, by the way, thank you for the call. Pam Bondi's going to be all over this, guys. I am telling you, he's going to be all over this. It's going to be all over this. There will be high-profile household names that get arrested and go to prison over this with Pam Bondi as our Attorney General. This is too big. There's never been a scandal even close to this. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard Ludwig.
Hey, Richard.
North Carolina.
Richard, what's on your mind?
Okay. I got a couple of things. The first one is I don't take no crap from no one. If I was doing the show, person was arguing with me over something, first thing I would do is hang up on them, block them.
Why? You don't want to talk to people that disagree? Well, it's a good thing you're not hosting a show, because your show would be weak and boring. When you get some idiot on like Jay from Jersey, if you listen to these liberal jerks that call me over the years, okay, I make my points through them. It doesn't matter what they say.
True. But all the same, I love your show. I really do.
Well, thank you.
And then have you ever seen the videos on YouTube of the Karens who get all bent out over Camel Toe Harris losing the election? Oh.
No. Oh, boy. Kept him on a beat too long. He was doing good, then he had nothing. Now, I do want to mention, there's after the next break, there's another big story that I want to get into that's huge. I'm going to get into it after the break. But I want to tell you one thing I'm not going to be talking about is that 60 Minutes interview with Kamala. They released the whole unedited 60 Minutes interview. Who cares? That's a desperate attempt at a distraction to get people in the media to play that interview and talk about Kamala. That ain't happening here. All right, our number 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, here we go. You're on the air once, twice. I heard an evil laugh in the background, so that's what we're dealing with. Grown men that are all messed up. But no, that is a desperate attempt to distract the media cycle. This story with DOGE and USAID, USAID, whichever you want to call it, this story is a snowball effect. There's going to be more and more developments each and every day with different people, because they are going through this line by line, and this team of geniuses that Elon Musk has doing it, I promise you they have computer programs that are very capable of going through it quite easily. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, here we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, how you doing, buddy?
All right.
This is me from here. How you doing?
Me from here. That's interesting.
Yeah, don't cancel nobody's calls that last caller. No. That's my entertainment of the ignorance of the people in this country. And thank God for saving Donald Trump's life.
All right, I appreciate the call. I don't know what part of him he thinks is entertaining. Me from here? He must be smoking something. All right, now our number is 1-888-465-2631. And, you know, the people that I've talked to today that are doom and gloom, Pam Bondi does not play. This is why President Trump brought in these outsiders to run these agencies. And I'm really curious about this USAID. Was this known about by DOGE and the Trump team beforehand, or is this something they just stumbled across? This massive scandal. We really don't know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Rabbi David.
Hey, Rabbi.
Can you hear me?
I sure can. What's on your mind?
Good. I want to know if you think there'll be class action lawsuits that I can join and a citizen can join to go after USAID and Chelsea Clinton and these people. I am a taxpayer, and I am ticked off, as opposed to these liberals who are not ticked off because they don't pay taxes. And April 15th is coming up, and I'm going to have to give taxes again of my hard-earned money. And I'm wondering, how do we get our money back? It's been stolen.
Good
from
luck.
us.
But there are,
but
what's going to happen because this became public because Politico missed payroll. They didn't pay. They couldn't pay any of their people this month, this week. So it came public that they were given $34 million from USAID. If that happened to Politico, which is a pretty big outfit, they have a permanent chair in the White House briefing room. They were very silent yesterday in the question part. There's other organizations like Politico that didn't get their money this month. And there's going to be other media outlets that don't make payroll or don't make their rent or don't pay their website fees or something. And there's a bunch of dominoes that are coming down. Forget about the class action lawsuits. There's going to be arrest. Telling you. This is big.
But again, my pocket.
You're not going to get your money back. You're not going to get your money back, Rabbi.
No, but I'm wondering, even symbolic, if they can go, the American citizens, there must be American citizens, lawyers who can represent American citizens and say, hey, who was responsible? Is it
I don't know.
Biden?
That sounds like, that sounds like a loser kind of thing. Now, I want to see Pam Bondi have the financial crimes unit do some arrests. That's what I want to see. Hey, Rabbi, appreciate the call. Okay, I had time for one more, maybe two more calls, and we got a break. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Sue from Missouri.
Hey, Sue.
The USAID, I did some digging. They're also funding the Child Protective Services and some other child programs.
Okay, all right. I appreciate the call. What they've been paying for is the whole Invasion USA is what they've been paying for. All of it. Those NGOs and everything, it's all been USAID. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our last break of the second hour and be right back. Hey, Barry, it's Brian. I'm put you on hold here. All right, hey, stand by. Oh, I sent you a text back. I'm going to start promoting that 2 weeks before the event, which will be coming up. Okay. Sounds good. Hold on. Now, the next story I got to queue up.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. It's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing great. What do you have for us this morning?
Well, we have a holiday coming up soon. That is going to be Valentine's Day.
Oh, yes.
And interestingly enough, the day before, on February 13th, the Siegel Law Group is holding one of its workshops. One of our workshops is going to be held 10 a.m. in our office at the Siegel Law Group, February 13th, 10 a.m., and it's a living trust workshop. And I'm saying this sort of seriously and sort of kidding around, but what could be more romantic than the gift of the education about setting up your estate plan and getting the peace of mind? What's more romantic than that for a Valentine's Day gift?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So, I mean, and in all seriousness, if you do want to give the gift of peace of mind and protection and security to your loved one, then you want to attend this. You want to get the information, and you want to start getting that process started so that you can get to that point where you have that peace of mind, where your shoulders can kind of go down and relax, and you know you have everything covered. So you can start that process by attending one of our workshops, and we have one next week on February 13th.
Yeah, I know there used to be a commercial. I think it was a jewelry commercial for Valentine's Day. When you want to give the very best, give them a revocable living trust. How do you like that? That's a good... No, but that's true, though, because, your loved ones, you want to take care of them, after you're gone, and taking care of your affairs so that your spouse, your kids, your grandkids, your family has everything set up. They don't have to go through probate, and they're taken care of, and everyone's secure. That's a great gift, and that's really one of the greatest gifts that someone can give to their family. Give Attorney Barry Siegel's office a call. When you call, they'll give you all the details on the upcoming workshop, which is completely free. And it's always a no-charge consultation with the Siegel Law Group if you mention you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the radio. The number is 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll finish out the week tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
All right. Take care. All right. We are back. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll take a couple more calls, and then there's another huge story that was broken yesterday involving our great President Donald Trump. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Darlene from Coconut Creek.
Hey, Darlene. What's on your mind today?
Well, you asked a question about if Trump or Elon had advance notice of the USAID. I was watching Jesse Waters last night, and he had a whistleblower on that was fired from USAID, and I believe they did know about it.
This deep, I'm not saying that they didn't know, because they are from, President Trump's got people around him that worked in Washington. I understand that they had some knowledge that USAID was a racket and was involved in a lot of kickbacks. But I think now that they got the books open, it's much bigger than anyone could have imagined. This thing with Disney and Politico are so much bigger than they seem. The USAID was paying for 700,000 monthly Disney Plus subscriptions. They have different subscriptions. I imagine they were probably paying for the most expensive because money's no object. That's $26.99 a month. That's like between $15 and $20 million a month or something. I don't know. It's a lot of money. So what?
I know.
So, yeah. So now we know why Disney has been putting out all these cartoons for kids with the trans agenda, the gay agenda, and other radical weirdo ideas. This is why they've been so rude to their customers and attendees at their theme parks. They don't need customers. They got USAID funding Disney. The other thing is Politico. we're finding out now that they've been paying for hundreds of journalists and hundreds of media. Actually, they've been paying thousands of journalists and hundreds of media outlets, USAID. And we're going to, and yesterday, this question, the question about Politico getting the $34 million was asked by Brian Glenn, who used to be with Right Side Broadcasting, to Caroline Leavitt. Now, one reporter in that room did a follow-up to that, which tells me that they're probably all crooked, or they'd be all over this story. It's insane.
That's right.
You know, it's at a level we can't understand. It's bigger.
Oh, yeah. I have a brother-in-law that acts just like that lady that called in about the Wheels on Meals. I have a crazy
lady. That was Jay from Jersey.
Like
that wasn't a lady. That was a man. Jay from Jersey.
Sounds like a woman.
Dude sounds like a lady. Okay.
To me, anyway, I have a brother-in-law just like that. Oh my God, you can't.
Really?
Make no sense out of. Yeah.
Does he work or is he a bum?
No, he works, lives on Long Island, and he's just crazy. He's retired too, and
what did he do when he worked?
He's also a Republican. Go figure.
Really?
Hates Trump. Is back crazy over Trump, just like that person. Like all those people that call you that are just crazy. Like they were acting yesterday at the Capitol, the Democrats.
Well, what we're finding is the USAID, which is a deep state CIA NSA company. This is where all the crooked payments from the government come from. They were paying for subscriptions to the New York Times.
We all knew that, right?
No,
we all know that. For years we know
that. Nope.
Not from USAID, but we know they're crooked. We do know they're crooked.
Well, yeah, but not at this level. They were paying, the USAID, all these media outlets have these monthly subscriptions. They've been paying for them by the thousands to these different mainstream media outlets. That's a monthly payment every single month to the New York Times, to Politico, to Disney.
Now they're all going to fold.
Yeah.
That's just a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate the call. Now, this next one, this is about now it's being reported that that the CIA was behind the Trump impeachment. Listen, this is a reporter breaking news on this yesterday.
Hey, everybody. It's Mike Schellenberger for Public. The House of Representatives impeached President Donald Trump in December 2019 after a White House whistleblower went public with evidence that Trump had abused his powers by withholding military aid to Ukraine in order to dig up dirt on his rival Joe Biden.
Now, by the way, wasn't that Vindman? Wasn't that the White House guy? He didn't say the name, but isn't that Vindman he's referencing?
In the complaint, the whistleblower claimed to have heard from White House staff that Trump had, on a phone call, directed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to work with his personal attorney at the time, Rudy Giuliani, to investigate Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. The whistleblower who triggered the impeachment was a CIA analyst who was first brought into the White House by the Obama administration.
Wow. So now he's got to be talking about Vindman, right? Who's now in Congress. Is he saying Vindman's a CIA operative? Or is he talking about someone else?
Reporting by Dropsite News last year revealed that the CIA analyst had relied on reporting by a supposedly independent investigative news organization called the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, or the OCCRP, which appears to have effectively operated as an arm of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, which President Trump has just shut down.
Okay, so now we're finding out USAID was behind the Trump impeachment.
The CIA whistleblower complaint cited a long report by OCCRP 4 times. The OCCRP report alleged that 2 Soviet-born Florida businessmen were key hidden actors behind a plan by Trump to investigate the Bidens. Those 2 businessmen connected Giuliani to 2 former Ukrainian prosecutors, according to OCCRP. The OCCRP story was crucial to the House Democrats' impeachment claim, which is that Trump dispatched Giuliani as part of a coordinated effort to pressure a foreign country to interfere in the 2020 presidential election, which is why the whistleblower cited it 4 separate times. In a 2024 documentary that the German television broadcaster NDR...
Okay, so anyway, it's a very long expose. I posted this on my X. You can watch the whole thing there. But this is astounding. He's got to be talking about Vindman, who just got elected to Congress in Virginia. He was out in front of the USAID office the other day with these other congressmen griping. So now we're finding that USAID was behind the impeachment of President Trump over that Zelensky phone call. This is really scary stuff, but I'm here to tell you this. The media are really covering this story. I know at Fox, Jesse Waters is doing it, and a handful of others. But most of the media are not reporting it because they're in bed with all of this corruption that we're talking about. But if Kamala would have won, or anyone other than Trump, like say Nikki Haley or DeSantis would have gotten the nomination, these kind of things wouldn't be talked about because it'd be dangerous to talk about them. You could get in trouble for talking about this stuff if Trump had not won. There would have been no DOGE. It wouldn't have been uncovered. But this is the kind of thing. If the old liberals had never sold Twitter to Elon, this would not be allowed to be spread on Twitter. The old people that ran Twitter would suppress this story. And it's another confirmation that USAID is actually the deep state. And it's being run by that lady that was Obama's ambassador to the UN, who's a radical Marxist, who's been running it. You know, I've been covering political scandals for a long time, and there's been scandals come and go. And sometimes you look back on them, and they were a big deal at the time, but they were speed bumps compared to what's going on now. This scandal with USAID is the largest political scandal ever, the largest financial scandal ever, and the largest political scandal ever in the history, not just of this country, but in the world. There's never been anything even close to this. And it's been shut down on a dime. So a lot of people out there have been some of our MAGA brothers and sisters who are always complaining about Elon Musk. Elon Musk and his team of geniuses are the ones who found out about this and gave us the proof. So there's a big difference. You know, the lady said, oh, we knew that they were. There's a difference between suspecting and having evidence. Now we have evidence. And there's records of all of it because it involves bank transactions. And they didn't bother to hide this stuff because they never even envisioned getting caught. Now, I want to talk about Dr. Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. I call Dr. Appleton a miracle worker. And I know a lot of you do too. I've gone in with Dr. Appleton a couple of times with my shoulders in so much pain I was almost in tears. When I went in for my arthritis in my finger, it was so I was on the verge of tears. The pain was that bad. He treated me with his laser wave pain treatment. The pain is gone and it is not returned because Dr. Appleton, with his laser wave pain treatment, the laser repairs the damage in your body that is causing you the pain. Dr. Appleton is very experienced. He's amazing. He's able to locate where the pain is coming from. Like the one time, I didn't realize this because when I go there, I'm in so much pain. I just need the help. I just want to get fixed, and I don't. But last time I went, my shoulder, it was my shoulder, my arm, all the way down to my fingertips was in massive pain. And Dr. Appleton said, right here in the shoulder, that's where it's coming from. I'm going to treat that. I said, yeah, but my hand hurts. He says, it's the nerves. It's hitting there. It's coming from there. And he treated this spot on my shoulder. Pain's gone, and it is not returned. That's amazing. He is very much a miracle worker. He performs all the laser treatments himself too, Dr. Appleton. It works. There's no shots, no injections, no downtime. That's amazing. And it is 100% painless. You don't even feel it when it's happening. Don't forget, take advantage of the no-charge consultation with Dr. Appleton. And appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome even on Saturdays. If you have x-rays or MRIs or things, bring them with you. Dr. Appleton will be happy to look over them for you. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain. Dr. Appleton's number is 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour, and I'll come back with your calls. There's other things that I'm going to cover too, But this USAID story is the biggest scandal I've ever seen. This is bigger than Lewinsky by far. This is bigger than Watergate. Watergate's jaywalking. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number is 888-465-2631. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. All right, I'm going to go back to the phones. We've been talking about this USAID scandal, biggest scandal in history. That is not an exaggeration. But before I get into anything new or recap, let me take some of these calls that have been holding. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Tom from Florida. I'm on my way to work, and I hear you tell that the U.S. the aid that organization is the biggest criminal organization in history, bigger than Watergate, huh?
Yes. Tell me what the crime. Excuse me. Tell me what the crime was in Watergate.
I turned on the TV, and when I saw the the skinny Ethiopian kids and the vaccines, that always,
Yeah.
people helping the people, usually said USAID behind it. And I understand that a big unchecked,
Well, let me ask you, Tom, because Tom, maybe I'm just uninformed. Yes, I made the statement that this scandal makes Watergate look like jaywalking, but maybe I'm wrong. Tell me what the crime was in Watergate.
Oh, the crime was in Watergate is we had breaking and entering into the Democratic Party's
Breaking and
office
entering. Was anyone hurt or killed in the break-in?
breaking and entering? No, nobody was hurt.
Okay, that's a mild crime. That's a mild crime. That's a mild.
Apples and oranges.
That's a mild crime. Is that the whole? Is that it? Are there any other crimes other than B&E?
I can't even believe that you could even make the reference. It's, you're talking apples and oranges, Brian.
No, I'm not talking apples and oranges. We're finding out. Hillary. Okay, maybe. Okay, hold on. USA. So we're okay. I'm just going to give you one example of one financial crime from USAID. Now, Watergate was a breaking and entering rap. No one was hurt. No one was killed. They broke in. Chelsea Clinton was paid $84 million from USAID. What are your thoughts on that?
I didn't really hear about that, so I don't have much research, but I will tell you one thing. The COVID relief funds.
No, excuse me. No, we're not going to change. Open phones is tomorrow.
Hold on.
No, you hold on. No. Politico, left wing. Excuse me. USAID was paying for 700,000 monthly memberships to Disney Plus, and they cost $27 a month. Your thoughts?
Okay, as I said, a gigantic sub part of the government, wasteful spending. Yes, they didn't have an Overwatch or anything like that.
That's not wasteful spending. That's embezzlement.
Okay. All right. Well, however you want to look at it. I mean, just to let
that
you know,
I want you to know this.
Donald
Listen to this.
Trump,
I
don't
just
forget
did.
Donald. Hey, don't
that
forget
that
Donald
is.
Trump had the taxpayers in New York pay for the Hyatt. Don't forget that Donald Trump started the
No. You don't. When you're. All right. I appreciate the call. I can't get him to stop talking. I just did the math. That's $21 million a month in Disney Plus subscriptions. If they had the most expensive subscription, and I would imagine they did. $21 million a month USAID was paying for Disney Plus subscriptions. A month. And how many years have they been paying for that? I don't know. We don't have all of it. Oh my goodness. A month. And he's trying to tell me that a break-in at the Watergate Hotel is bigger than that? Oh my goodness. We don't, so far as this USAID scandal with the media and all this stuff, we don't even know the tip of the iceberg yet. You understand that, right? This is why they're in a panic in front of the building. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Jason Steffi. How you doing, sir?
All right, Jason. What's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to let you know I'm a big Trump supporter and everything else, and wondering if what's your thoughts on what you see what's coming?
I don't know what that means.
Well, I'll just put it, I do a lot of research and study, and I've been watching a lot of what our president's doing, and I don't know if you are aware that March 4th he's calling for Congress. Are you aware of that?
Calling for Congress to what?
He wants to basically make an announcement.
Oh my goodness! He does research. What's he researching? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Jessica, West Palm Beach. Good morning, Brian.
Oh yeah, hold on, Jessica. I mean, this is some scary stuff. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, all right, yeah, go ahead, Jessica. Oops, sorry, hold on. Let me try again. I lost you. All right, go ahead, Jessica.
Well, I wanted to speak to you about this USAID
Yes.
corruption.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, this organization is the one in charge of promoting socialist and communist ideas through many other countries, or overseas. Like, for example, they supported Ortega in Nicaragua with woke agenda and socialist agenda in those Latin countries.
Mm-hmm.
This is why Marco Rubio made a statement about this yesterday, that during the Democratic, presidencies, they supposedly didn't take care of Latin America, and Latin America became a huge dump of socialist governments, and that is promoting immigration, heavy immigration to the United States. And that's exactly what happened in my home country, the Dominican Republic. Do you know that USAID paid hundreds of reporters in Dominican Republic to promote the woke and socialist agenda
Yes.
in Dominican
Yeah,
Republic?
we find, and we're finding though, listen, yes, but they're also paying reporters in this country that have White House
absolutely.
press credentials.
And let me tell you, that's treason. That to me is treason, that you're paying reporters in the United States to promote a political agenda. That's horrible, Brian, and that needs to be fully investigated. As to JJ in New Jersey, that when he said that Elon Musk, we didn't vote for him, we did vote for him. We did vote. We did elected Elon Musk. We did elected Tulsi, RFK, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi. We elected all those people that President Trump has, nominated for their positions. Why? Because during the entire Trump campaign, he was fully open about who he was going to promote and who he was going to.
Yeah, we knew that Elon was going to have this job. Yeah, we
investigate
knew this before the election. Hey, I appreciate the call from Palm Beach. Let's see here. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Man, that hold music real fruity. Hey, my name's Gary. I'm calling from Indiana. Hey, I just wanted to say that I've been watching you for a while, and I really got a hard-on for you.
Oh, that's nice. There we go. You gotta get it again, Mike. Oh my goodness. Second time today, Mike. We had to hit the dump button. Oh my goodness. Why are all my stalkers that have all these perverted thoughts about me men? My whole career, I've had stalkers and people fantasizing all kinds of sexual things, and it's always men. I never have women that are stalking me. Oh, my goodness. Well, just in time for a break. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take our break, and then after the break, the delay will be re-engaged. I want to tell everyone about the incredible specials going on right now at MyPillow. Listen, at the Steve Kane Show, we do not have USAID financially supporting us. We have sponsors, and you supported our sponsors do that. So please continue to support the sponsors of our radio station. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. But Mike Lindell is offering free shipping on all orders site-wide. There's huge deals going on right now on some of the most popular MyPillow products. The pillows, the towels, the sheets, the slippers, the robes. It's site-wide. Some of the biggest sales ever at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout. But on top of that, it's free shipping on all orders, no matter how small. You can order the most inexpensive thing you can find at MyPillow.com, which I think might be the MyPillow socks. Or maybe a single towel, and it's free shipping. That's right. There's no minimum. No matter how small, no matter how large, your order, free shipping with our promo code Kane at checkout at MyPillow.com. So take advantage of that. This free shipping will end without notice. You can also order by phone. The number is 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. All right, we're going to take our first break of the third hour. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Radio Show. And I have men fantasizing about me. How lucky am I? Oh, boy. We'll be right back. Oh, boy. I just got a text. I'm going to mention this when we get back. Wesley, I bet USAID has been behind societal degradation. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It's not so much the Chi-Coms as it's USAID. But I just got a text from PJ. You know, PJ calls in sometimes. He's at the VA. They don't have a picture of Trump on the wall. It's been long enough. They have the pictures anyway from last time. It's just a blank wall. We'll be back in less than 90 seconds. Yeah, guys. Look at these great deals at MyPillow.com. Just huge deals going on. And free shipping on all orders. The mega sale. You can see just great deals. Great deals. I mean, look at this. This is what I meant. The socks, just $3.75 a pair, right? Free shipping with even an order that small. That's amazing. And this is a special that will not last. Oh, I like these new pajamas. All right, less than 30 seconds. 15 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show. Callers on hold, stand by. I just got a text from a friend of mine, PJ. You guys know PJ. He calls in sometimes. He goes with us on our cruises. He's a good guy, PJ. He's at the VA, and they do not have the president's portrait on the wall. It's just a blank wall. They took down Biden, and they've not put up Trump yet. I think it's been long enough. Don't they have the one left over from last time that they could put up if they're waiting for the new one? That's not an accident. They're just putting off the inevitable. All right, back to our phones. We're talking about this massive scandal today that's the biggest financial, political, and media scandal in history. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, we're batting 100 here. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean.
Oh, you know, I was watching last night, Barry Cunningham's show, another Florida guy, and he was going over just some of the stuff that was happening with this USAID, and it's disgusting. And just going over parts of it, and we haven't even seen anything yet. And just the money that we've been throwing away. And, I mean, every American should be really upset right now. And, you know, watching these government rats, these Democrats, talk about Elon Musk like they do, and the guys that work for him. You know, there was one of the guys, you know, the young men that works for him. I was learning a little bit about him, and he got a $40,000 prize because what he did was he uncovered some tablets, ancient writings in Mount Vesuvius, where Pompeii happened, and this guy discovered the writing on it. So
really,
and he was able to do that. And this guy doesn't fool around, and people don't realize what we mean business. You know, these aren't just kids that Elon Musk hires. This, you know, Trump knows exactly what he's doing.
No, these are geniuses.
And
they're geniuses. You know, this one, you know, the things that are coming out, I don't want to get sidetracked on the transgendered comic books and stuff. That's you know, Chelsea Clinton was paid $84 million by USAID. Chelsea Clinton, $84 million. What the heck? What was she? You know, she's got to explain herself. What was that for?
With the Clintons, you know. I can't even begin to imagine what they would give the daughter of the president. I mean, what's her significance? And what other kids have received?
Probably all of them. If they, probably all of them.
I mean, I don't even know where to begin. I'm just listening to the list going off. I mean, we haven't even dug into this.
Well, you know, I wonder, Obama's, Stephanie Power, who was Obama's ambassador to the UN, runs USAID, or did. Marco Rubio is the acting director. I wonder if the Obamas and the Obama girls got some of that, like Chelsea.
Well, I know that Musk has said he's not even close to being done yet. I mean, I can only imagine what he's going to be again. And nothing's going to stop them. They can scream and yell all they want, and they're looking worse. They're not going to be winning anything for a very long time. And you know, the definition of insanity is to keep repeating the same things and expecting the same results. Well, that's all these rats are doing.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Now that USAID is out of commission, think about what impact that's going to have on both the media and the Democrats. They have no funding now. All the funding has been coming through that. So they're not going to be able to function.
I mean, do you think this will be the end of like Joy Reid and for sure? Now,
well, what we found out for those that are just tuning in, okay, we've what happened? A series of events happened involving DOGE, and Politico which is a very left-wing publication, was unable to make payroll this past week. And then we find out that USAID, Elon found this out in his team of young geniuses, that Politico was paid $34 million a year by USAID, and they've been cash outright as well as paying for their monthly subscriptions to their app or website or whatever subscription plan they have. So Politico is not a business. It's a front totally financed by USAID. The other outlets have been getting money too. We've heard about some other ones, not any other big names yet. But I would imagine, because when Brian Glenn, who used to be with Right Side, asked Caroline Levitt in the press briefing yesterday about this Politico story, it was one of the first questions, and not one other reporter for the rest of the briefing mentioned it, referenced it, or did a follow-up, which tells me they're all on the take. That, you know, as soon as this comes out, the media outlets that report this story, the people that report it, they're clean. The ones that avoid it are dirty.
Oh, it's all self-explanatory. It's all taking care of itself, and it's absolutely disgusting. This money laundering operation is a lot bigger.
You know, I got to tell you, I feel like such a chump because people, you know, Steve and I, this show's the longest running radio show in Florida, and it's, you know, and it's supported by advertisers. That's how real media operate, and that's it's not easy, and it's very time consuming work too. And it's backbreaking work, and that's fine. That's the business. I'm not complaining, but these liberal outlets, they're not businesses. This is so important. Rush Limbaugh used to always say, he was talking mostly about CNN, okay? But Rush used to say that the mainstream liberal media is the only American business who thinks they're smarter than the customer. And we always ask but he was wrong. They don't care. They don't care because they don't need money from viewers. Like Disney Plus, USAID has been paying for 700,000 monthly memberships to Disney Plus. That's over $20 million a month. A month. So the reason Disney has been alienating their customer base is they don't need a customer base. They've got USAID. You understand? That's why they're putting out all this weirdo trans cartoon characters and stuff. You know, so
that's true.
Yeah, and it's crazy. So now that it's been cut off, we're going to start finding out about other people that can't pay the bills. So the mainstream media, like they're not. Whoever writes the talking points isn't getting paid. So some of these media people won't even be able to have content on the air because they're not being fed talking points. There's going to be other media. Politico's going to this story about Politico getting the $34 million broke yesterday. The day before yesterday, Politico had a story, a big story, that Elon Musk claims against USAID were lies.
Wow.
And then the next day we find out 34 million.
They're panicking. I mean, it's a widespread panic now that the bottom lines are all starting to crack, and they think the dynamics are going to change. I mean, just imagine, as it keeps on going. I mean, the landscape's going to change. This could be the end of the media the lamestream media as we know it. I mean, this could be it. I mean,
Politico has a permanent seat at the White House press briefing room. I didn't hear any questions from them yesterday, and Politico was the first. They're a mainstream media outlet. They're the first. Politico was the first mainstream media outlet that reported the story. The Hunter Biden laptop is Russian disinformation, and 51 former intelligence officials signed a letter saying so. It was Politico that broke that story, the fake story.
I remember.
So,
it was.
That's what the money's for.
It all makes sense. Everything makes sense. I mean, it's probably it's stuff that we probably a lot of people have been knew about all this time, which we're pretty sure about. Now we're just getting the confirmation 100%. I mean, because now it's just a lot worse than we all thought it was. It's a lot worse. And Elon Musk has been saying too. He's been saying on Twitter, on X, he's been saying, this is a lot worse than people can imagine, and the American people need to know. Everyone needs to know, because and all these government gangsters, as Patel likes to say, which is true, they're all upset because it's not democracy. It's the system that's getting destroyed.
It's the CIA. The USAID is the deep state. And then we find out. I had this story. Jesse Waters covered this, by the way, last night. This other story. So this means he's okay because he's doing the story. We find out now, and I played some of the audio earlier at the end of the last hour. USAID was behind Vindman and the impeachment of Trump. USAID was behind the whole thing with Vindman. I mean, this is insane what's going on here.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I saw that last night about the Vindman connection. I couldn't, and it just shut my
And
head.
Vindman just got elected to Congress. He just got a seat in Congress in Virginia. He's in the House.
Outstanding, isn't it? It's insane.
But they're after Matt Gaetz. They ran Matt Gaetz out.
I know they're going after the smallest things. I mean, like we said before, those who have yelled the loudest have the most to hide, and we're literally seeing this happen with all these fools. And I just think it's all. I think it's just taking care of itself in a lot of ways. And again, the court of public opinion is most important. And I think that most Americans, most people, some of the far left are unreached. That's what it is. But most people, reasonable minded, are going to come to this front here, and we're already happening. I mean, that election that we just had, the mandate was set, and people really understood what was on the line, the dynamics of it, the justifications, and the consequences of this election. It was the most consequential election of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be, and we did it. We did it because something happened. The
That's
greater
right.
good came up front, and we're here. And I can't believe it still that this has happened. I love this. After everything we've seen this man go through with Iron Man, there's no one ever been like this.
when those never Trumpers shot President Trump, that was it. He's on a mission, and he's going to expose them like nobody's business.
Yeah, and it pisses me off when I hear them say we're at war, and all of a sudden these Democrats. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
War?
Yeah.
You're gonna say that?
Listen, I gotta run, but thanks for the call. I gotta take the bottom of the hour break. All right, we're late. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Calls on hold. Stand by. Back after this. We'll be back in 1 minute, less than a minute. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Oh, my goodness. I mean, this USAID scandal is getting bigger and bigger and bigger each and every day. And the things we've covered, this $84 million that Chelsea Clinton was paid. Could you imagine if Don Jr. or Eric or Tiffany or Barron had taken $84 million from anyone? They'd be arrested. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Dana from North Carolina. Hey, man, great show. All these companies, news outlets, reporters, producers, everybody that knows about all the lies and slander that they've been reporting about our great president, Donald J. Trump, aren't they up for lawsuits? Can't they be prosecuted for what they've done?
Who's going to sue who? No, what's going to happen is people are going to be arrested. The Justice Department will arrest people.
Exactly, but still, there should be absolutely. I agree. They should be arrested. I hope they will be arrested.
All right. Well, appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Yeah.
Hi. Hey, this is Gary from Gary, Indiana. I just want to say
here we go.
Great work tonight.
Yeah, get
really
to the
cutting
butt.
through
Yeah.
and finding, like, exposing all this stuff that's going on. And I really do appreciate it. The last caller said something that really struck me.
Yeah, I bet it did. Why don't you go call him and you can strike it up together. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. The seminar callers are back. Now, there was one story here that's actually good news, which gives me a lot of hope. You may have seen this. The U.S. Army has had its best recruitment month in 15 years, they're reporting. Listen to this. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth announced yesterday that the Army had its best recruitment month in 15 years in January under President Trump. You know, the reason this is a spectacular and a beautiful story is because, you know, the people that are joining the Army are right out of high school or even in high school, right? They have promoted such anti-American garbage for the last few years, the Obama years, the Biden years, with Trump's first term sandwiched in between. And we've had so much anti-Americanism going on in this country. I thought patriotism was done. But when you have guys in this number, well, I guess women too, when you have people in these numbers enlisting, where you're breaking a 15-year recruitment high, and I guess the high before that was during the war when people were gung-ho, it tells us the patriotism isn't dead. But I'll tell you another thing that has that number up high is that they're ridding the military of the trans people, rightly so. You know, people, men and women, young men and women, don't want to have to take group showers with transgendered people of the, you know, opposite sex. Causes a lot of problems. Now, that's certainly a factor in the recruitment going up. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Pardon?
Yes, you're on the air. What's your name again?
Man, sorry, My internet's a bit fucked, but...
Oh, my God.
guys.
There you go again, Mike. There was third time today. Oh, my goodness. We're going to break our dump button. We're using it so much today. You know, I'll tell you what's going on. This is absolutely amazing, okay? What's happening this morning. By the way, if you're on hold, stand by. We're going to wait for the delay to re-engage. You know, not only is the Steve Kane Show the longest-running radio show in the state of Florida, and I believe the United States, but most definitely the state of Florida, I think we hold the record on using the dump button more than any other radio show in America. We've got to. We've got to have the record on that. What's going on here, you've heard some of it on the air. A lot of it's been dumped, and a lot of it I've stopped in advance. You know what's going on? These are very unique seminar callers. What we're exposing on this program today, when I tell you this is the biggest financial scandal in history, the biggest political scandal in history, and the biggest media scandal in history, that is 100% true. And the seminar callers, what they're trying to do is disrupt the discussion, is what they're trying to do. Now, before I go back to our very busy phones of panicked seminar callers, you know, hey, seminar callers, USAID, they're not sending out checks anymore. So I'm surprised to still hear them. They must have had like a couple little bucks they could throw out at the very end. But before I go back to our seminar callers, I want to throw this out. Delta has announced that they won't be backing down from their DEI programs. Didn't earn it. Now, I've talked recently, because I just went out to LA to see my daughter and back. I don't like to fly. I went to the airport lounge at 5 in the morning. I was there. If you watch it on YouTube, and I was drinking screwdrivers at 5:30 in the morning, okay? I always drink right before I get on the plane. I do not like flying. I never have. This is a very serious question. If you got to the airport and you're about to, like when you're at the gate and you look out the window and you see your plane, if it said on the side of the plane, this plane is flown by a DEI hire, would you get on that plane? That is a serious question. They say they're not going to back down from their DEI programs. I don't care if you gave me free flights around the world. I would not get on a flight if they were saying this plane is flown by a DEI hire. There's no way. You would have to be out of your mind. That's not what you want in a pilot. All right, let me try to take another call or two. The delay is re-engaged, so Mike, stand by. We may have to hit that delay again. This is, You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, there you go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, that was that one. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, my name's Cassandra.
Yes.
Hello?
Oh, my goodness. They are on a tear. I know we're touching on the right thing today. Let's try one more. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Gary from Gary, Indiana. Why don't you just say Nick?
No, see, boom. See, I told you. There, Let me tell you something. I've gone up against the best that do that kind of work. Those of you that are longtime listeners, oh my goodness. I've gone up against pros that do that kind of stuff. Nothing's going to stop us getting the truth out. All right, listen. We're going to take our last break of the day, but I'm serious about that. If they did say this plane is flown by a DEI hire, would you get on that plane? What are they thinking? By proudly announcing they're going to maintain their DEI practices at their airline. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard a corporation do. But it's what I was talking about before with Disney Plus, right? USAID was paying for 700,000 monthly Disney Plus memberships, which is over $20 million a month. That's why the company, Disney appeared to be sabotaging themselves. And people have been trying to figure out, well, they got this woke ideology and they don't care about their customers. Their customers are USAID and they pay them. So you got to wonder with an airline that says something stupid like this, and other businesses that are sticking with this DEI stuff, are they recipients of the US AID funding? I would say probably yes. Probably yes. Why else would you do something that is so alienating to your customer base? It doesn't make sense unless you're getting paid to do it. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our last break of the day and be right back. Yep, hold on. We'll be back in 20 seconds, guys. Stand by. Here we go, 12 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Metals looking a little weaker today on some of them after many days of up markets in gold and silver. Yesterday we saw gold trade in a range of $28.39 to $28.84 and closed up $23.10 at $28.6640. Silver was up 22 cents, closing out the day at $32.26. Platinum gained $16 at $9.81, and palladium was up $1 at $9.75. Overnight, we've seen gold trade in a range of $25.51 all the way up to $28.75. Right now, we're at $28.62. That's down $4.40. Silver's $32 right now at down 26 cents. Platinum's up $13 at $9.94. And palladium down $1 at $9.74. So the market's giving us a little bit of a buying opportunity today.
Oh, yeah.
One of the first pullbacks we've seen.
You know, a lot of people, because you've mentioned the great deals on pre-33 gold, and I've had a lot of people ask me what that is. And it's really some of the coolest gold coins you can get. Can you tell people a little bit about what that is and why it's a great deal to pick up right now?
Yeah, traditionally, gold minted prior to 1933 when we went off the gold standard. They called all the gold back in and were melting most of it down. The things like $20 gold pieces, which were very popular gold coins back then, were removed mostly from circulation. There are still many of them available, and those trade at a nice premium over gold normally. But right now, the premium has been reduced quite dramatically and gives us a great buying opportunity to own a coin that's almost 100 years old. In many cases, coins that are much more than 100 years old.
Yeah.
And we have those available.
Yeah, and typically those are, I mean, you told me the other day, this is the lowest price you've seen pre-33 gold at, I think, in your career.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah. So you people that are into pre-33 gold, you know exactly what William Youngerman's talking about. But I think it's kind of cool because I my grandpa had he had one of those coins. He kept it when they were supposed to turn it in, back with FDR. But it's there's a collector's feeling to it too, on top of just the gold value. All right, William Youngman opens up at 10 a.m. Give him a call at 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. His address in Boca is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, which is just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto on the first floor of the Bank of America building. And you can find both William Youngerman's address and phone number on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. That's WilliamYoungerman.com. And the medals are on sale just a little bit today, so it's a good day to load up. All right, William Youngerman, we'll finish out the week tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right,
Thank
you too. Take care. Now, we're approaching the end. If you're on hold, hang in there. I want to just recap what we've been talking about, because I haven't done a lot of recapping today because there's so much outrage in the audience. I get it. We've taken a lot of calls. I want to recap what I started the show with at 6 for those that missed the beginning and don't. What Elon Musk has uncovered is a scandal that's so large, you can't even get your mind around the whole thing. And a series of events happen, and it all involves USAID. So Elon Musk's team of young geniuses, when they started going through USAID, found out all kinds of things. Now, yesterday afternoon is when it really started hitting the fan, and what had happened is on Friday, Politico, which is one of the most prominent left-wing news organizations. It's up there with, I'm talking about from the liberal mainstream media viewpoint, not mine. I know they're trash. I didn't realize how trashy until yesterday. But they're up there with CNN, the New York Times, and the Washington Post Politico. And everybody's heard of them. Everyone knows they're left-wing. Politico is the media outlet that broke the story that was fake news, but they had the headline that said, the Hunter Biden laptop is Russian disinformation, and they published the letter signed by those 51 intel people, okay? That's how fake news they are. They couldn't make payroll this week. They sent out an email to their employees, and this is when it became known yesterday. One of the employees leaked the email, and Politico sent an email out to all of their employees that they couldn't make payroll, that there was some type of technical problem at the bank. And what we came to find out through Elon Musk and his team of geniuses, the technical problem at the bank was that USAID didn't make the deposit because President Trump shut payments down at USAID. USAID has been paying Politico $34 million a year. It's a fake business. It's a front for USAID. And they've been paying them in many different ways, including subscribing to their subscription service of their website or app or whatever they have. Then some other things started coming out yesterday about USAID. They've been funding other media outlets, including the BBC. They've been paying for subscriptions to the New York Times, and 700,000 subscriptions to Disney Plus, the streaming app, were being paid for by USAID. And that's about $20 million plus a month just to the Disney app. Okay? Also came out that Chelsea Clinton was paid $84 million. You heard me right. $84 million by USAID. There's been some other examples too. And for Jesse Waters broke last night that USAID was responsible for funding through Venman the impeachment of President Trump over the Zelensky phone call. I mean, these are just things that came out yesterday afternoon and early in the evening. And what we now are beginning to know, we were suspecting this early on as soon as USAID got exposed by Elon, but what we're now gathering evidence of is that it's a deep state front group, and all the kickbacks in Washington pretty much, and worldwide, but in the United States, are going through USAID. And this story broke really early yesterday. Brian Glenn used to be with Right Side. I don't know who he's with now. Real America's Voice? Which one of those things is he with? He was looking very hungover, Brian Glenn, but he's a good guy and I like him. And Caroline Leavitt called on Brian Glenn. He asked her about the payment being made to Politico. She responded. Let me see if I got it queued up here. I can play it. So Brian Glenn asked her about the USAID payment, and this is Caroline Leavitt's response about it.
I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room, and I can confirm that the more...
Now, keep in mind, Politico, they have a reporter that is in the room while this went down yesterday.
I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. And I can confirm that the more than 8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening. The DOGE team is working on canceling those payments now.
Okay. Now, the thing about this, that at that point, we just knew about 8.1 million. Later in the day, it turned out it was 34 million. I know. It's pretty shocking. Now, if you want to keep up on what's going on with this, the best way to do that, well, of course, listen to me because I want to be covering this. But all of the information I have on this that I've been sharing with you has been from the primary source of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is posting everything on his X as soon as DOGE finds these things. So I know, it's amazing. So not only is he in charge of DOGE and they're discovering all these things, and there's a paper trail from here to the moon and back, okay? But Elon Musk also is the owner of the #1 news outlet in the world, X, and he's posting it out there. The rest of the media are trying to cover it up, but he's posting it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Anal Bumquist from your mom's house.
Yes, okay. See, I told you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. JJ from Macho.
Oh, JJ. The seminar callers are having meltdowns. You think they'd be on our side since the USAID checks aren't coming?
Yeah, actually, they're all getting. I don't think they can claim unemployment after this.
No,
really
no,
sure.
You can't.
But listen. I mean, if this were if a speck of sand were corruption, this USAID thing is the whole damn beach.
It is.
And
that's right. It is.
I would say that to the rabbi who's making the point as far as individual taxpayers know, but if there's, criminals make mistakes, and there's a lot of criminal activity going on here, and if Pam Bondi can find any way for conspiracy to commit fraud, RICO, all these different statutes that are in there. If there's a way to charge these guys and claw back, in SEC investigations, they often, they can claw back the money.
Well, you know what it is
some of it, but the truth is the biggest prize here. It's the biggest punishment. The truth.
Well, no,
I don't see the Democrats.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree with. Well, first off, this is going to have a major impact on the Democrats because a lot of the media, I promise you, are being funded like Politico. It's just Politico didn't have enough cash to make payroll, so they've been exposed. Some of the other ones are going to have the same thing happen. The Democrats are not. None of them are getting paid anymore.
Agreed.
So the people that write, like the seminar callers are in a panic attack right now. They think there's some hope, but
it is kind of funny, Brian, with the seminar callers though, like you're saying here, because over the past few weeks, they these are new. These guys that called in.
Yeah, they're all new seminar callers.
They're all new. These are all new, so they're out in force trying to save their.
Good luck. They ain't going to happen.
Get paid.
But the thing about it is the Democrats, without the USAID funding things, they're going to lose a big chunk of their media. They're not going to be able to buy advertising. The people that write the talking points, they're going to not be writing the talking points. A lot of these stories are pushed through the fake news stories, like I was talking about the Hunter Biden disinformation story came from Politico. Yep. They're being hit pretty hard with their
chunk. It's a very big chunk of their PSYOP.
Yes.
Of their PSYOP campaign. Very large chunk of it. Now, you were saying something you were disagreeing. What part were you disagreeing with me on?
That it needs to be more than just the truth. We need high-profile arrests.
No, I think those are going to happen. There's definitely going to be arrests here. I just, I mean, the thing that used to upset me, and I'm going, back 20 years, 10 years, 5, whatever, is that you hear pundits like, or Hannity or Trey Gowdy and other people in the media saying that, the government, it's just the 1% at the top. And I'm like screaming at the TV. It's like, no, it's not. It's maybe half the friggin'. I remember screaming at Trey Gowdy. It's not 1% to 2%, Trey. It's like half. I mean, there's good people in there, but like half of them.
Well, Trey Gowdy needs to worry.
5,000 of them.
Well,
we find out 5,000 of them are.
It's bigger. Let me tell you. Trey Gowdy needs to worry about his hair. Have you seen him? He looks like a weirdo with that haircut.
He looks like
you
kind
know,
of a Max Headroom clone.
A little bit like that. He kind of looks like that kid Spike on Cobra Kai. If you guys watch Cobra Kai, but the hair, but his daddy. But I've only got a few seconds left. But here's the deal. If we don't get some high-profile arrest and people go to jail, when the establishment's back, they'll just regroup and start it over again. So I got to run. We're out of time for today. Now tomorrow is Open Phone Friday, Open MAGA Mic Friday. That's tomorrow. Any and everything on your mind is fair game. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. And if you're on hold, you'll be first in line. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And if you're new, make sure that you subscribe. And everyone who's new to the channel, welcome. This is where MAGA comes to talk, as you can see, and you'll very much enjoy the program, I promise. Take care, everyone.